Hey everyone, we're back on another podcast, and I'm Seth Haller, CEO of WISER.
It's a pod webinar.
Pod webinar.
Pod webinar.
A mini pod nerd.
And I'm Logan Maxwell, wearer of many hats. Today we are going to talk about zones. We've done kind of searching, finding, tagging, using the system. We're trying to put out a bunch of videos so people can understand how things are used in context. And one of the more important things that folks do is build zones and then create rules out of those zones. Both are relatively simple, and we'll kind of go through the rules aspect and then show what the data looks like there.
So more of a technical dive into how things work for the WISER system and how you can get more out of it.
Exactly. So, hey, we've got everything tagged. We're running and we're going and finding our stuff, right?
Easy to do. You can find it, you have a map, but
yes.
Now you want to do something a little more.
Exactly. And so what we've done here, if you can see, is we have some zones set up. In a separate video, we'll go over making those pretty simple. You're just clicking around the map. But we have an entrance zone, and we have another zone over here, like a testing zone. And so what we're going to do today is make a rule around those zones so that we can have a snippet of data that shows when things entered or exited those given zones. So in the WISER program, not super difficult. We'll click through it together. Essentially, we're going to go in. We're going to go to tag rules. And those rules are what create the boundaries for selecting that data. And from there, you can do reporting and analytics or emails and texts. And we'll get into technicalities of how one might build that system out. But for now, let's just make a rule together.
It's kind of the baseline for creating intelligence on your data.
Right. This would be the first step. And so if we create a rule together, we click New Rule, and we're going to say this is a dwell time-based rule. You could have other types, tag moved, a tag is near another tag. But for now, we just want to know, hey, this moved into a zone and dwelled there, or it moved out of a zone, right?
Right. So you can think of it as entering a zone or leaving a zone. So don't get the dwell time. Don't be confused by the term dwell time.
Yeah, it's kind of a catch-all. So we're going to have Margaret demonstrate this today. So we're going to make a rule name where Margaret is going to enter a zone. And from there we have two options of where this data goes. Out of the box, right, with no configuration, this could go over SSE to this computer. We would have an application-based notification pop up on this computer and say this rule was triggered. We also have an event table. This is powerful in that you can send a line of data to a database, and from there, that data really can go anywhere. So we're going to set it up to push there today.
Yeah, and just a brief note about SSE, that's more for when you want to programmatically create some sort of notifications. You can set up a Python program that interfaces with the WISER server to get those SSE rules. But we're going to do something different where we're just sending it simply to a database.
Yep. And we have some limits here of how many entries you would want in this database table and some flushing here, because if you make this rule and set it for 10 years, you will fill this up over time.
Yes, one of the big things about RTLS data is you get lots and lots of it. So you do have to think a little bit ahead of time of how you want to manage that data, and setting a limit for how many entries is generally the first step in handling that data or that large influx of data.
Exactly. So we'll make a rule here, but we're going to make a rule around a zone. As you can tell, they're kind of linked, right? We've built those zones. We have an entrance zone. We have a testing zone. So I'm going to select those as what's important, and then I'm going to move into saying I now want to select specific tags that we're going to say this is going to be Margaret. So Margaret is there. Oh, I need to save this, don't I? Yes, there we go. Okay. So entrance, testing zone.
You got it.
And then tags, Margaret, tag detection, entering. You can also choose leaving, right?
We'll do entering for now.
Yep. Hysteresis is how much error you want to allow around the edge of a zone. For now, this isn't in a factory. This WISER would help you with determining what this would be useful for you. A lot of times detection repetition is going to be more powerful.
Yeah, if you want 10 readings before you make a zone notification,
Right.
you can put 10 in there. But for us, we'll just put 1.
It's risk assessment, right? If this rule is really important that it be precise, you may not want a material passing by the zone to accidentally trigger. So a detection repetition of 5 or 7. I need 5 active reads in the zone, right? So for today, 1 active read is fine, and we want to be notified right away that that event occurred. So we've entered all of that in. We're going to save that as a new rule associated here.
Right, and then here it is, showing up, and we're all ready. All we need is our volunteer.
Excellent. So now we will have a walk into given
Margaret,
zones.
can you go ahead and walk for us, please?
And so we'll have, hopefully, we're leveling up our game here. We have multiple exciting camera angles today.
Oh,
so,
Margaret is moving. As you can see, let's see if we can point out right here.
Yeah.
Here is Margaret. She is now.
Yes. So.
And now we'll have her walk to the test zone. So you'll see her walking down the hallway.
Yes. And so we'll hopefully smash this footage together in post. Thank you, Leo. And we'll get it all.
And thank you, Margaret.
And thank you, Margaret. Yes, and we'll kind of smash it all together. But essentially, what we're seeing here, and hopefully you're seeing with the combination of camera and whatnot, is basically we're just moving a tag through these zones, right? And what we're looking for on the back end, right, is...
So now we jump into the server side and
right,
the table, right?
Right, exactly. So what we've done is we've created a rule. We've said to push it to a database. And so now we're going to look at the back end of the data and say... do we have a table here? And then do we have I need to leave and come back, right? How do I do this? All right. So we have effectively somebody walking through with a tag. Margaret is entering zones. We've made a zone rule. Right.
Zones rule. Now it's being deposited to a database, and what we're doing now is opening the database and looking at data within that table that we just created. So, do you want me to navigate there?
Yeah, where did you stick all this stuff?
It's under engineering and tag history.
Perfect.
Open. And we go to browse data, and we choose
Margaret entry is the one I made. There you go.
And so now you see
perfect
that there is 1 entry in the entrance, and then 2 entries in the test zone.
Yes.
So they're populated.
And so each of the zones that are built are just associated with a zone ID. That's the number of the zone. It's just...
Margaret, can you go and walk one more zone? We'll have refresh and show it how it shows up as well again. Thank you. Yes. So this data, if you want to look at it, it tells you, it's in the office mesh. It tells you what the name of the zone rule is, and then it tells you the type of rule it is in dwell time, and then it tells you the zone IDs and the tag ID. So her tag ID, even though we have labeled it Margaret, it's associated with a number, and that's her number right here.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see if she... Yep. And so we got 1 more entry point because she just walked in there. So that's it in a nutshell. Anything else you'd like to add?
Well, yeah, effectively this is kind of the first step. This is pre-built so that you can start to have a bunch of different flows in your facility, right? You can set up a bunch of entrance zones or just 1 entrance zone, and then a bunch of rules or just 1 rule surrounding all of that. So you could select all your zones, create 1 entrance rule, and then your data would be very clean. Just only lines that you're getting are when exactly that came in, right? There's an event time in milliseconds. That's what building you were in, right? What rule name was, and then what the tag was at that time, and what zone it entered. And so from there, really there's a lot you can do, and I'm sure we'll get into that as much as we can in the technical weeds. But this was making a zone, making a rule around a zone, and then getting the data.
Right.
From there, kind of a can of worms. We'll open it slowly, but this is the overall gist.
Well, I think we're good here today. Well, thank you for coming to our webinar podcast mini, and hope everyone has a good day. Take care. Bye.
Thanks, guys.